Okay, dry run speed test. First, we're gonna do camera. I'm gonna try to press these at the same time. Oh, just so you can see. Clear that out. No apps in the background. Same Wi-Fi. Tried to make the playing field as level as possible. Here we go. Phone. Definitely the iPhone. No question. Messages. Definitely the iPhone. No question. Internet. Definitely the iPhone. No question. Camera. Definitely the iPhone again. Which is surprising. The first time I ran this test, it was much closer. Play stores, App Store. Google does a really good job with their Play Store optimization. Like every time Play Store wins. Clock, iPhone, calculator, iPhone. Dude, the calculator came up so fast you would swear it was already there. Calendar. Part of this too is just Apple app optimization versus Google app optimization. Maps. So far, everything's gonna go for the iPhone outside of the Play Store. Settings. Apple. Google. Google actually came up first on the Google phone. That is like Google, you have to win that. I don't know what else to say. Facebook. Ooh, that was close. Follow me on Facebook. Demondre Douglas. Messenger. I have to go back and see that one. Then we got photos. Apple. It was close second though. YouTube. I don't know because of that issue, but that's why we do the dry run. Matter of fact, I'm going to switch it to the premium one just so that won't happen next go round. Wait, this is actually the premium one, so why is that happening? Or is it? It was not. So we'll find out on the real test. YouTube Music. Ooh, I think the Android won that one. Amazon. Definitely the iPhone. I don't know why I'm logged out, but the iPhone definitely won that. Let me sign in. Turn off the Wi-Fi, maybe that's why the code ain't coming in. Send. Okay, waiting on that to come through. Let's see. Sign in with password. What the hell, man? Whatever. Technical issues. That's why we do the dry run. Let's get to the games. Asphalt. And the sound took me away, so I didn't see. Jeez Louise. Asphalt in these damn ads. So I don't know which one loaded first, but we're gonna hit play and see which one will go into the game first. And it's crazy, man. The Asphalt on iPhone has ads. And I mean, true enough, it's an ad for the Asphalt 8 Plus, but still, it's a freaking ad. That doesn't exist on the Android version. Now, some things I noticed from testing out both of these is the graphics on the iPhone are better, only but slightly. It's in the details. Example, the weather. You get weather effects on screen. With the Android, I did not. So I went in, tested the graphics. iPhone loaded in first. iPhone, you cannot adjust the graphics. On Asphalt, you can. So on the real test, we're going to actually test this out twice. We're going to test it with the default settings. Then I'm going to go in, bump up the graphics, come back and test it again. But yeah, the iPhone outperformed it in speed at which it's opening and the weather effects. I don't know if you can see that on screen. The snow, it sticks to the screen. That's crazy. The snow sticks to the screen. You see it right there. Snow hitting the screen. You don't get that effect on here. We're gonna see if that changes. I did enjoy playing it more on the Android because it was just more screen real estate to work with. I was more immersed in it. However, playable, fun on both. Alright, let's go into Roblox, and I really did those backwards. I wanted to start with the less demanding games first, so remember that. Into Roblox first on the iPhone. Definitely took a second to get into Roblox on the Moto G. But now that we're in, we're going to test out Brookhaven. So a lot of people don't know these games on Roblox can actually be very demanding. Some titles just won't play them. Some titles will not play them. So as you can see, play button is up. Play, we're in the game. Play button just popped up for the Android. I actually got a screenshot of me going to the same room, went to the police station, and I stood at the same point, and you could read the writing on the wall on the iPhone, but you could not read it on. We even famous on Roblox, people. You see this? I love you, bless you. Let's get into Temple Run. do this. Exactly right there. That would have ruined my video. I want as fluid test as possible. I've already opened these games. I've already played them on both. I want a fluid experience. It should be the exact same experience, barring any differences from the OS. Something, something, something. Returns. No thanks. Play. And I missed the button. Oh wow. So, that one's a dud. But anyway, the game plays well on both, as expected. Subway Surfers. Oh my Jesus. I'm coming. Let me go get this. Alright. Tap to play. Ooh, a little hiccup there on the iPhone. Damn it. Missed that jump. Anyway, game works flawlessly. Well, almost flawlessly on both. You gotta remember that this has 4 gigs of RAM, this has 3 gigs of RAM, and there's a lot of apps in the background. There's actually so many apps in the background that this next game will probably force close on one of these. We're gonna get into Chimera Land. This is the most graphically demanding game on this list. It's a huge game. It's a fairly new game. It reminds me of Elder Scrolls Morrowind, if anybody's familiar with that. So it definitely requires internet. Really need some good hardware to get the best out of the game. As you're gonna see, these load times are ridiculous. But that is because the game is so huge. Okay, here we go. Damn it. Slight issue over here on the iPhone. Really slight issue on both phones. As I said, game's very demanding. We shall see if it force closes. And we are in on the iPhone. I mean, man, these graphics are nice. Alright, we are in on the Android, not without a little bit of lag. Now, when I tested this game during a previous test, it constantly force closed. I did not think the phone would be able to run it. I went back, cleared out all the apps, game ran well. I will say, I will give it a C+. On the iPhone, it runs at a B+. You're going to see some of the hiccups. Even look at the terrain. The terrain on the iPhone looks so much detailed. Like, we'll see as we get closer if we can get that much detail in. But I actually not yet physically ran around in this game. I just know that the game's dope. I've watched several trailers. Yeah, the game looks really good. I mean, the details are so barren on the Android. However, it still will run the game, so we gotta give it credit for that. Plus, I wouldn't even know if I didn't have another phone to compare it to. That's another thing. Both phones are fast, respectively. You're not going to notice how much faster or slower your phone is unless you have someone else's phone right next to you. Another thing you have to remember, these are both budget phones. Chipset wise, I can say they are mid-tier. This is a Snapdragon 600 series processor in the Moto G. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. You would like to see 6. There are 3 gigs of RAM on the iPhone. You would like to see 4, but as humans, we would always like more. We're going to do a speed test. I will say this, speed test based off the network itself, the Moto G kicks the iPhone ass. 5G definitely makes a difference, without a shadow of a doubt. We got Comcast Business Class Wi-Fi. Let's see what each phone pulls down. A lot of people don't like to do these speed tests at the same time. I feel like, when are you ever on Wi-Fi by yourself? Normally, there is something else on the Wi-Fi pulling down Wi-Fi too. So you might as well run it together. There you go. iPhone actually pulled down faster. Upload and download speeds, not by much. One by 2 or 3 megabytes on the download, and by 2 or 3 megabytes on the upload. But again, for some people, that makes a difference. Here is the biggest difference. This is where it comes down to fashion over function. For me, this is where it comes down to what are you going to be using your phone for? So, I took the liberty of already sitting through these 2 benchmarks. I'm gonna go to my results. Ran the same benchmark, this wildlife benchmark. We actually ran the wildlife benchmark twice, and the score got worse the second time. The iPhone did so well on this wildlife benchmark test that it doesn't even give me a number. As you can see here, it says maxed out. So whatever the highest number is that you could achieve, the iPhone did that. On the Moto, we scored 973. I'm gonna give you the higher number. So again, we actually ran this test on the 20th, and then we ran it again on the 21st, and the score got worse. The less powerful test, it did better. But running the Vulcan, it did worse. So let's see if there's any details. Performance monitoring. The average frame rate for the same test on this Moto was 5 frames per second. Yes. Says your score versus popular devices. See, I don't want to go S21 Ultra. Let's just go 8 plus 1T. Blow them out of the water. It's every device on their list did well on this test. But it does say you scored better than 11% of the results from all other devices. So, on this chart here, you can see you're better than all those people. All these people are better than you when it comes to graphics, at least on this phone. The iPhone, however, 40 plus frames per second. I mean, you want minimum 30, ideally 60. It even says here that, as you can see, we had the battery at 100%. The frame rate fluctuated from 28 to 56. So at some point, the frame rate did drop below 30, but barely. As opposed to the Moto, where the highest the frame rate got was 5 frames per second. The fact that at some parts of this test, the iPhone almost hit 60 is awesome. And really, it's at the beginning where it starts. Had a little bit of rough start, powers through the middle, and then has a little bit of a rough ending. So, on this phone, if you buy this phone, your phone will be 89% better than the rest of the phones in the world right now. It puts you in almost the 90th percentile rank. So this phone from 2020 will kick most phones' ass. Outside of your Galaxy Ultras and your top tier iPhones, nobody else is touching you. And lastly, we have Geekbench. This gives us a quantitative number of the raw power of your phone. Take it how you want. That's what the purpose of it is. So we're going to go into the history on both. And my God, man. The iPhone is single core is almost 3 times as powerful. Multi-core is twice as powerful. So, if you want to shoot and edit and compress and export video, you want to do that on this iPhone. You can do it on the Moto. The iPhone's gonna do it way faster. If you want to play games, you will like the iPhone better. If you want to watch movies and I would say play your basic games, Smoto's gonna kick ass at it. We did do a camera test, and the camera test results were in daylight comparable. In low light, the iPhone did better, even though the Moto has a low light mode. What are we looking for? We're looking for photos, but before we go through the photos, we're going to do a RAM test. So we're gonna go back through all of the apps and see what gets held in RAM and what does not. 4 gigs here, 3 gigs here. Both held. Phone, which you should. If you can't hold that, it's a problem. Reload on the messages. iPhone held the message. With that being said, I know it's gonna. I'd be shocked if the game stays loaded. Browser. Reload on both. Although both did go back to the same point. At least it wasn't a restart. App Store, Play Store. Reload on both. So as you can see right now, when it comes to RAM management, neither of these phones